Ström då gumman. Min lilla ström. Go live. I'm live. And I'm gonna drink beer. There we go. Very important moment of Friday evening. Opening your first beer. Maybe I should bring my mic to the front. Okay, now the mic is under my face as well. Who's with us? Malte, Hitch, Tom Anders is with us, Nordan, Scouser, Sick, Fallweatherfriend, Strado, Conrad, Plop, Nitro Smokeless. Plop got his Ruger MPR 556 today. Congratulations. So what am I drinking? Tempest Brewing Company, Elemental, 5.1% porter, and it's smooth and roasty. Should it have any fancy text on the tin? Dark, brooding and robust. All should bow their heads before the humble porter. Often misunderstood and blah 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 blah. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. Okay, let's try. Skål. Yeah, it's an okay porter. Right, so who else is with us? Kalle, Sestan, Robert, Commandant. Righty. So those of you who have read the news know that there's been another stupid event. Usually those happen in the United States. Not as many as the anti-gunners would tell you that there is, because they count anything as a mass shooting. But yeah, it was a bad one. Many wounded and dead. So let's have a look at what the media is making out of this. Burp. So this page is Omni. It's basically puts together a bunch of different news and try to make a synopsis of it. And usually it's quite left-leaning. It's owned by the same people who owns the left-leaning newspapers in Sweden, at least. And yeah, so they're mainly quoting an analysis by this guy, Antonin Vavda, however you say that. So he basically says that Czech gun laws are very, very lax, or it's easy to get an AR or whatever that this guy used, and ownership goes hand in hand with the country's proud history of gun manufacturing. The Czech Republic has always made really good guns. And they make and these quotes, the quotes in this article basically says that it's the premier choice for school shooters and etc. And they don't bring out all of that article in this, so I found the original article in this Czech newspaper. And that's one of the pictures of the shooter. And I had a look at what he actually wrote. So he brings up a lot of mass shootings in the US, like the very suspect Las Vegas shooting in 2016. And he referenced the assault weapons ban from 94 to 2004. I still remember that one myself. Total failure. Didn't do anything to gun statistics, which he also mentions. There was no significant reduction in armed crime during its effect. And NRA opposes limitations of this kind as well. And he also says here that short weapons are used for most crimes in the United States and all over the place, because you can easily hide a handgun. Most gun crime in the United States are with handguns. So what he actually says here is that banning this rifle won't really do anything on the actual gun crimes, the ones that actually fill the statistics. The Czech Republic is one of the safest countries in the world, if at least in all of Europe, but probably all of the world. This is very outside of the norm for the Czech Republic. So what is the difference between the United States and the Czech Republic in this case? yeah, the Czech Republic doesn't have their inner city gang crime problem the United States has. That is basically all of the gun crime in the United States. And those people use handguns. And in Sweden we have other issues. Smuggled, one of the worst countries in Europe is Sweden. And all of the gun crime in Sweden is basically, what should we call it to be politically correct? Imported criminals, let's call it that. And imported firearms, military firearms. And not just AK-47s, full auto machine guns, rocket launchers, bombs, you name it, they have it. You can't buy on the civilian market what the criminals have in Sweden. So I haven't really seen any calls to limit legal gun ownership, even though this one apparently was legal. Obviously, to stop a maniac like this, apparently he has been planning this crime for a long time. He killed his father and some other people before this mass shooting. Limiting legal guns won't stop someone doing a crime like this. You have to catch them before they do it. They can do something else. They can just light a fire. They can do a lot of damage in a bunch of different ways. You have to catch the assholes that do this before they do it. Limiting tools don't help. We had a terror attack in Stockholm. A guy robbed... Oh no, did he rent? I don't remember if he rented a truck or if he stole a truck. Somehow he got a truck and ran down a very crowded street. And a lot of people died, a lot of people got injured just with a truck. A regular car will do. Every time you drive past a filled bus station, if you just move your hand a couple centimeters to the right or left, you're going to be a mass murderer. Should we ban all cars? So anyway, yeah, this happened. And not even in the Czech Republic, apparently. This was the most anti-gun article they could reference, apparently. And even this article isn't really calling for gun bans. It's just telling it like it is, more or less. What firearm does it look like he has? I don't have any better pictures of the firearm, but I saw another picture. It looked like a Leopold scope and some kind of AR with a bipod and yeah, AR-10 in 308 says chat. Right, let's continue on. It's not really that much to tell about this. It's the same problem. It's sad that the Czech Republic has been visited by this kind of crime, but it's obviously a very disturbed individual, and you got to catch those people. So, if there's anything they could have done to not make this person have this firearm, yeah, probably some mental health checks. But yeah, we already have that in place in Sweden. So if you have some mental health issues, it's the duty of the doctor to make sure you don't have access to firearms. Mainly this is for suicide reasons. So if I, for example, would have gone to a doctor with a severe depression, my firearms would have been taken care of until I'm feeling better, which is a good thing. Come on, what happened with this link? There we go. So for something a little bit more hilarious than unnecessary death, a police officer stole 1.3 tons of empty casings from work and sold it as scrap metal. And he apparently made about 45,000 Swedish krona or 4,500 euros or whatever on it. He got caught when he wore a police uniform while doing it. Yeah, this is kind of hilarious, but he got caught, so whatever. So from one thing to the next, Swedish law. This is very interesting. Swedish law is basically the constitution, or what passes for one in Sweden. Then we have regular laws. Then we have förordning, which is tacked under the regular laws that Parliament decides on. That's meant to be like explanations to the laws. And under förordning we have författningssamling, which is the government agencies that regulate shit, their little notebook on how to interpret the laws and some regulations that have the force of law. So in that little staircase of laws, the Constitution is at the top. So if some government agency makes some rule that goes against the Constitution is what you'll go with. And if it goes against the regular law is what we goes with. And same with the other stuff. And the Swedish police has what's called författningssamling. It's called FAP 551-3, the one we have right now. And it's super old and it's obsolete, and they're gonna update it probably next summer. We'll see. And this is the suggestion for updates, and it doesn't really say anything. So they made an investigation on the consequences of their changes, and it's not really that much. They're basically removing obsolete shit, but one of the obsolete stuff they're removing is firearms for self-protection, basically concealed carry. So I'm going to translate this. You Swedish people can read this right now. The restrictive access for private people, you and me, to own firearms for self-protection in the old rules does not have support of the law. Skål för det. Therefore, we're going to remove it all. In the internal documents, we'll say what's okay and not. And what it says is, in principle, we don't have any limitations at all for the purpose of protection. No limitation at all for concealed carry. The consequence can be that more people can get an approval of a license for firearms for self-protection. Obviously that's not going to happen, but if it happens, I'm going to be happy. But what they're pretty much saying is we have no rules regulating firearms for the purpose of self-protection, for concealed carry. It was literally impossible to get a license for that earlier. But what they're saying right now is that, oh, Merry Christmas, psyching out. Skål på det. So what they're saying right now is that, yeah, go ahead and apply for it. I don't know. I might try just for shits and giggles. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I can't say anything about this. We have to wait and see what happens. But if it's easier to get it, why not try? So the 15th of February 2024, they're going to make a decision, Parliament, Sveriges riksdag, about a lot of gun questions. We already have the investigation into basically a path trampled by deer. No license for suppressors. Am I reading that right? Yeah, there's no license for suppressors. Not since 2022. If you have a firearm, just go in a store and buy one over the counter. Yeah, that's old hat. That's already been changed. No firearm, no license for suppressors. Not like the US, pay stupid tax, wait a year or whatever it is in the US. Right, anyway, so what's interesting is what is the motions in Parliament they're going to vote on. So there's a bunch of shit here. When can you remove a license? Which government agency is going to inspect shooting ranges? Updated gun law. You can own more guns. Something about digital technology for handling gun licensing, I guess. Where you can store guns. Handguns for hunting. Storage. Gun collecting. Something out of police organization. I don't know what that is. Remove all rules regarding gun magazines. If you can hunt on your own when you're 16 years old. So I don't know if there's anything that's super interesting here. More guns in being able to own more guns. Yeah, It's basically being able to own more guns. We have a limitation on how many guns we can own right now. We'll see. Nothing of this will probably go through because we already have an investigation regarding this that's going to be presented later 2024, in the spring of 2024. Let's see here. What is chat saying? Let's have a look. Foul Weather Friend says, it is to my personal shame that I do not own a CZ yet. Yeah, I used to own a CZ SP01 Shadow, the first version of it, an exemplary handgun. Hello, Boosted Hambe. Soli says, I got my Ruger S4, it feels like it's really nice, haven't fired it yet. Tell me how it goes for you, Solis. Still waiting for my permit to buy mine. Foul Weather Friend says, the severe gun crime in Sweden is also mostly gang related. Yeah, it is. Ricardo says, this was the reason for the Islamic Truck of Peace memes. Oh dear, I missed all those memes. I'm not going to Google that, I'm going to be put on a watch list. Nordan says, I got my Ruger S4 this week. I noticed that the charging handle is not moving as it should. Do you have any tips? I don't know, sandpaper. Just do it like 1,000 times and it's gonna file itself down. Just while watching TV, just do this with your hands outside of your pants. Piotr says, this is just a reminder to everyone how important mental health is. So take vacations, eat a steak, make love to your lady, take snooze and drink beer. I can drink to that. Skål på det. Yeah, mental health is very important. That's why I took 2 weeks vacation now and I haven't done a single thing during the vacation so far. Just been reading books, having a good time, eating candy, going to the gym. I'm almost handicapped now because I did a leg day yesterday. That's, yeah. So I've been so stressed out this year, so much at work. A lot of responsibilities. But now it's winding down and I have my little winter vacation. So I'm feeling awesome. If you no one says can't pull back the charging hand with one hand a couple of times, then it hurts. That's not okay. You have to check that shit. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to charge your rifle. Something is wrong. Check that the quarter pin or something doesn't impact something, or just like take a felt pen and mark the inside of the upper receiver and see if anything is scratching it or something. Check your gun and make sure nothing is impacting it when you're charging it. That doesn't sound right. Psychonaut is at work. Well, that's good. Our folks says the muzzle brake is stuck on the barrel. Yeah, it's gonna be under pretty hard. You're probably using some variant of Loctite. You might need to heat it up a lot and use some kind of vise to get the barrel fixed. And then, yeah, usually it's a lot of violence necessary. I don't know if it's crush washers, or if it's pinned, or it could be anything. You might need to take it to a gunsmith to remove it if you're having issues. Don't use too much violence. If you're clamping the receiver or something, you're going to destroy your firearm. So be careful. Don't destroy anything. Nitro says, I just heard Hungary legalize suppressors November 1st, and they have some of the more strict gun laws in the European Union. Yeah, it's just silly to have any kind of rules on suppressors. It's just a can at the end of your muzzle. Talking about that and the Ruger S4, let's see here. Infitech is gonna make a new suppressor. Let's have a look. So they have it on pre-order. So they use a Ruger S4 as an example. So this is a reflex suppressor. So the muzzle is probably around here, or here, about here, about there. So I'm guessing it's a direct thread suppressor, but it's built behind the muzzle, and they have a version that's perfect for the Ruger S4. So it's going to look like this, and I think it looks sweet. I think it looks awesome. It's going to be some kind of aluminium suppressor that's going to work fine with a 308, according to them. So I don't know, I might buy this one. It's not horribly expensive, and I think it looks super sweet as well. So my Ruger S4 is probably going to look something like this. I'm going to get an LPVO of some kind, probably. So yeah, I think it looks sweet with that suppressor. Just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, the price is not horrible, but yeah, it is what it is. Mark Serbo, how's it going, Santa? It's going fine, Mark. Skål på det. Cheers, Mark. I bought a lot of Spaten for my little tap in the kitchen. Gonna think about you, Mark, when I'm having my Spaten later. Tom says, I'll spend X months at work, but I'm spending a lot of time at the range next week. I might go to the range with Hans next week and try out the military's new self-marking targets. Tom might make an outing of it, we'll see. Tom says, we'll be able to apply for a license for a B&T APC 9 Pro now. Well, they stopped caring about barrel length a couple of months or something ago. A guy in our club got an HK 556 with what is it, like a 12 or 13 inch barrel. So it should be fine to have a Brigand Tomat APC 9 Pro now. I noticed you, Tom, applying for another rifle. Yeah, Mark Serbo loves Spaten beer. Yeah. So yeah, there's sad news from the Czech Republic, but there's some hopefully good news regarding concealed carry in Sweden, since apparently there's actually no rules regulating concealed carry in Sweden. We should actually be able to just apply for a license for it, and they really don't have a reason to deny it. I'm gonna have to check what was the rifle. Do I have it here? Yeah. So in my little document, I have 369 different applications for firearms. Let's see how many of those are Tom's applications. I haven't actually checked. So out of those 369 applications for firearms licenses in my shooting club, 118 of them are Tom's. And we have about 130 members in my shooting club. That is actually some fucked up statistics, Tom. Is it really all him? God damn it, it actually is. That's like more than... How many percent is that? God damn it. I'm gonna have to bring out the calculator. I'm gonna have to change the rules in my shooting club and make it so you can only apply for one rifle or like 5 rifles each month or something. That'll drop it down a bit. So how much is this? Yeah, that's like 31% of, no, averaged out is 32%. 32% of all applications to my shooting club for firearms licenses are Tom. That's fucking stupid. You are a crazy man, Tom. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna invent some kind of bullshit prize to give to you just for that. There's a reason I've made a like so when you write the paperwork to the Swedish police to motivate a need for the individual to have a firearm on a sport shooting license. The individual has to apply it the same way as a hunting license, but there's another step. The shooting club has to send in paperwork to the police, and that paperwork I have one for all the other members of my shooting club, and then I have one pre-filled with all of Tom's information, so I can just write in caliber, gun, manufacturer, and make, and barrel length. That's all that I have to write in on his because I already pre-filled it. Strad wants to make me to make a video with Tom. He's in several of my videos in the background. Tom does not want to be in a video talking about himself. He's a very private person. So yeah. I did not realize it was that bad, Tom. That's I'm a little bit in shock. Like shit, yeah, almost 1/3 of all applications actually. That's fucked up. That's so fucked up. He's just laughing in chat. Oh dear. Okay, right. I don't really have that much more to tell you guys, other than pray to all your gods about firearms for protection, that something reasonable happens there. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that shit. But if they allow that, I'm never not gonna be carrying a firearm. Mark Server says he was private until he just told how many gun permits he's applying for. Mark, the really silly thing about this is that he doesn't actually own over 100 firearms. He buys one, owns it for like a couple of days, sells it because he just wants the next shiny thing. Because we can only own so many firearms in Sweden. So yeah, the only redeeming part about that with Tom is that usually he makes a profit when he sells them. So actually the Swedish police should really be on your ass about that, Tom, because you're basically a gun company, a gun salesman right now. Malte says concealed carry weapons for everyone working with security or secret information or whatever. No, concealed carry for anyone within X amount of kilometers from a mosque or something, or a suburb, or basically anyone in Sweden. Yeah. Viking 1 says regarding Tom, it usually isn't any bad weapons either. No, he gets the really fancy Gucci weapons like LWRC, Daniel Defense, Eklund Koch, and all that good stuff. Tom says, I only made some returns on investment on a couple of guns. Yeah, buying guns is not a thing you make profits from usually. Usually, yeah, no hobby is going to give you a profit unless you make it a company out of it, like Mark Servo did. So, yeah, last sip of beer, people. Then it's Christmas. So, yeah, today it was Tempest Brewing, Elemental, 5.1% alcohol content, porter, smooth and roasty. It's an okay porter, but there's a lot better porters out there. But it was an okay one. So if that's the only one you can get and you really want a porter, buy that one. HK and Heinel. I really like my Heinel AR-10 in 6.5 Creedmoor. It's a good rifle. I need to load some 6.5 during my vacation and go out and shoot it some. It's so fun. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna close down the stream now because I don't have any interesting things to say except Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. I'll probably stream next Friday, or will I stream next Friday? Yeah, it's the 29th. I'll stream next Friday. Mark says, shit, you need to have me on next week so you can go on a full hour mode. Yeah, let's do it next week, Mark. Let's talk on chat about that later. But sure, let's talk shit next week, and no Michael Jackson business. Okay, Merry Christmas. See you guys later.